Welcome, everyone. I am so glad that you are here. You joined us today to start our presentation. I am going to be talking about the good, the bad, about oils. So before I start, I just want to state our disclaimer. Let me go on presentation view here. Okay. So the information that I'm going to be talking about today is for information purposes only. And it's basically things that I have researched, I have maybe started practicing in my daily life, and it's not to be taken as the gospel. So if you have any concerns about what I'm saying, you can always discuss this with your physician, any changes that you want to make in your with your diet. I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist or dietitian. So I am going to be just giving you the basics, what I have researched and what I have learned so far over the past, basically, few weeks about oils. So, as I said, I'm going to be talking about the good and the bad about oils. So, there are multiple controversies surrounding cooking oil consumption. You hear all different types of take on this. Some health professionals say that cooking oil is linked to chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Others say that certain kinds of oils are better for cooking, while others disagree with using any type of oils. So over the years, the consumption of seed oils has increased dramatically due to the overwhelming promotion of reputable establishments like the American Heart Association, medical doctors, nutritionists, and manufacturing companies. Consumers think that they are invested in a product that is completely healthy. Also, several public articles recommend using seed oils to replace saturated fat and trans fat. Why is my thing not moving? Are you all still seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see it, but it's not moving.
Okay, so let me go back. Okay.
It moved.
So there, yeah. So over the years, as I said, oil has increased. So back in 1909, I guess that's when oil started, the first production of oil, when it was introduced into our diets. You can see this graph, how it has, risen over the years. This was back in 2019. Oils are basically off the chart. So seed oils, which aka vegetable oils, is a plant-based food derived from plant seeds. Common examples include corn oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, peanut, sesame seed, soybean, sunflower seed oil. We also have canola oil. I have a picture of it somewhere. I guess it's not showing now. So these oils are basically the seed oils. They are not vegetable oils. They're derived from seeds, but because they don't want to call it seed oil, they just call it vegetable oil. But remember, it's not a vegetable. Anyhow, so seed oils are high in polyunsaturated fatty acid. Polyunsaturated fat is a type of dietary fat, and it also is a healthy fat, along with monounsaturated fat. According to research, polyunsaturated seed oils lower the lower density lipoprotein, that's the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, I should say, the bad cholesterol. So they're saying that these polyunsaturated seeds can lower LDL, which is a low density lipoprotein, which is the type of cholesterol that is considered bad cholesterol for health. The reason these types of oil are considered heart healthy is that studies consistently link polyunsaturated fatty acids or fats to a reduced risk of heart problems when they compare them with saturated fat. we all know that saturated fat is bad for us. So they're taking a bad fat and comparing a fat that is not as bad, polyunsaturated fat. Of course, they're going to get positive results, stating that polyunsaturated fats are better. They are going to lower our risk for heart disease. They're going to lower our numbers. But this is what is happening, is what they are comparing it to and giving us results telling us that these oils are better. Well, polyunsaturated fatty acid are essential fatty acid, and our body needs these fats for our brain to function, for our heart to function. As a matter of fact, it helps to regulate our heart rate. I was reading where it says that these unsaturated fats are important for preventing atrial fibrillation. So people who have heart problems, atrial fibrillation, it could be they're low on these fatty acids. Also help with cell growth, energy production, hormonal balance, digestion, and immune function. So you see that these fats are essential. They're essential because our body does not make them, so we need to get them from our food. So there are two fatty acids that are important in our diet, omega-6 and omega-3. The omega-3 fatty acid is called alpha linolenic acid, or ALA, and we have the linolenic acid, LA, from the omega-6 family. So we find these fatty acids in omega-3 ALA. We find it in some vegetable oils like soybean, canola oil, flaxseed. Also, we can find them in our walnuts, chia seeds. We also can find EPA and DHA, another type of fatty acid, omega-3, in fatty fish and algae. We also can find omega-6 oils, omega-6 fatty acid in vegetable oils, or those seed oils, safflower oil, sunflower, corn, cottonseed, sesame seed, peanut, soybean, canola. All of these oils have omega-6 in them. We can also find omega-6 in walnuts. And we can find an abundance of omega-6 in processed foods. So these seed oils, the problem with those seed oil is that these seed oils are known to be high in omega-6 fatty acid. In small quantities, it is not as harmful, but in large quantities, it can contribute to chronic inflammation. Compared to omega-6, omega-3 fatty acid, this is the opposite. So with omega-3 fatty acid, it helps decrease inflammation. So it's an anti-inflammatory fatty acid. It is recommended that we have a 1:1 to a 2:1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid, omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid. So we do not want a very wide ratio. It needs to be pretty much even. But due to our Western diet, this ratio has shifted dramatically to a 20:1 ratio. So you see that the ratio it's gone off the chart. We are consuming too much omega-6 fatty acids, which we get from these seed oils. Although some studies do not support the theory that when you eat these oils, use these oils contribute to health risk. But for me, it's best to err on the side of caution and eliminate or reduce seed oils that contain high omega-6. So these are some of the oils I just mentioned before. And here's the oils, a chart showing you the amount of linolenic acid, omega-6 acid that is inflammatory, that cause problems, that is when it's consumed too much, when we have too much of it consumed in our bodies, it causes problem. So as you see in our chart, we start with palm oil, which has about 10% of this omega-6, go all the way down to grapeseed oil, which has 71% of omega-6. which is an inflammatory type of fatty acid. So if you look at this, these oils are very high in omega-6. So these are the type of oils we need to try to avoid. We need to try to avoid these high omega-6 oils like soybean oil, corn oil, seed oil, sunflower seed oil, peanuts, sesame seed, rice, palm oil. We need to try and avoid all of these oils. We also, I mentioned canola oil. That was not mentioned on there before, grapeseed oils. So these are the oils we need to avoid. Because why? They are high in omega-6 fatty acids, and because of the high quantity of fatty acid, it can cause inflammation. That's just one of the reasons. Another reason why we have to be careful with these oils is their structure. How are these oils structured? So these polyunsaturated fatty acids that's abundant in these oils, they have a double bond. If you look at this chemical structure of a polyunsaturated fatty acid, you see these two double bonds in between the carbon. These double bonds cause the oil to be unstable. So these polyunsaturated fatty oils are unstable in our body and on the shelf. When they are in the grocery store, they're becoming unstable because of the chemical structure. Polyunsaturated fatty acids are made up of carbons and hydrogens which are connected by double bonds, thus making them unstable and highly reactive to oxygen, heat, and light. This type of environment leads to oxidation and the formation of harmful free radicals in the body. So what does free radicals do? These harmful free radicals can damage cells and tissue when exposed to this oxidative stress that's going on. When it's exposed to oxygen and heat, they can form free radicals. The more double bonds present is the more unstable the fatty acid becomes. Another reason why these oils are harmful is because of these double bonds. They're polyunsaturated fatty acid that when they're heated, when they go under a lot of stress and exposed to light, they start forming oxidation and cause problems with our cells and tissues. Studies have shown that oxidation could elevate blood sugar, chronic inflammation, which is associated with virtually all degenerative diseases. Excessive consumption of oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acid can contribute to chronic diseases like cardiovascular diseases, inflammation, and cancer. Another problem with these oils, they could have traces of trans fat. We all know in 2015, the FDA banned manufacturing companies from making products with trans fat because they realized trans fatty acid caused cardiac issues. But hydrogenated vegetable oils may contain still some traces of trans fat, which fall when the oils are hydrogenated. They add a hydrogen bond and cause these oils to be hydrogenated. Now you have pretty much of a solid type of oil. So non-hydrogenated vegetable oils may still contain some trace amount of trans fat. So where can you find these trans fat? Here are some foods which are that contain partially hydrogenated oils. Your microwavable popcorn, your vegetable oils, vegetable shortenings, your baked goods, all those baked items that you might find in the store at your bakery. They use margarine or vegetable shortening to make them. Non-dairy coffee creamers, potatoes and corn chips, pre-made pizza dough, frosting, all these things and more, these are just few, contain these trans fatty acid, traces of trans fatty acid, which we need to avoid because the more you eat these things, the more you're accumulating these trans fatty acids. There was a clinical study that was done in Iran among some adult women. The research indicated that higher intake of hydrogenated vegetable oils were associated with a greater risk of metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance, whereas higher intake of non-hydrogenated vegetable oils in the range of energy requirements were associated with a lower risk of insulin resistance. So you see these trans fatty acids, these hydrogenated oils, they can cause insulin resistance and can cause other health issues. Another reason why these oils are not healthy is the way they make these oils. So first, they will gather the seeds from the plants. The seeds are heated to extremely high temperature. So remember I talked about a while ago that when these oils are exposed to heat, it changes the structure, and because of the double bonds, it causes the oil to just do erratic things and form oxidation. So here you have this high heat temperature you need to extract the oils from the seed. This is done for first sterilizing the seed because but it causes the unsaturated fatty acid in the seeds to oxidize, creating free radicals that can be harmful to health. Another problem with it, when they have to make these oils, the seeds are generally processed with a petroleum-based solvent, such as hexane, to maximize the amount of oil extracted from the seeds. Because these seeds don't produce much oil. Can you tell me when you eat looking at a corn, can you tell me that there's oil in that corn? There's not much oil. So what they have to do, they have to really squeeze and heat these oils and put them through these chemicals so that they can get all of the little oil that's in them out. So they use hexane, which is a petroleum base. I know you will not just go down the road and buy petroleum and want to use it to cook with. But this is what we are doing when we use these oils. Another problem is the chemicals that are used, they have to deodorize the oils because if they put it in the store like that, you're not going to buy it because it doesn't have a pleasant odor. So they have to deodorize it, which have an undesirable smell once extracted. So once they extract the oils from the seeds and the method that they use it and the products they use it to extract it, as I said, it does not smell good. So they have to put a deodorizer. And the deodorizer process can produce trans fat, which are widely recognized to be potentially harmful to human health. And the next step number 5, they have to add more chemicals to it to make the color of these industrial seed oils look more neutral and appealing. Because when they finish with all of this, it's a more like a black looking substance that comes out. So they have to add chemicals that to basically bleach it out so it can be something pleasant to look at. Because if you look at it, you will not want to buy it if it doesn't look good. So this is what they do with our oils, and this is what we use day after day, and it's just in all our products that we purchase when you purchase things that are already packaged or things that are baked, etc. So now you might be wondering, okay, so these oils, we know they go through all of this process and we know it's not healthy. But there have to be an oil that we can use that is healthy. We have all heard about olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. These oils, I know a couple of weeks ago, a month or so ago, I will tell anyone, these are the best oils to use. If you're going to use oil, these are the only oils to use. As a matter of fact, these were the only oils I was buying because I believe that olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil were the best oils. But let's see what the research has to say about it. So, of course, these oils are made differently. They do not go through the chemical process and the heating and all of that like the other oils do. These oils are made without chemical solvents and in most cases without extremely high temperatures that can damage the fat. So that's a good thing. Also, these oils are not heated. They're usually extracted. How they extract them is they don't heat them, but they are extracted by pressing them. So that we call them cold press. They're expellant, they are pressed. So they are not refined, they are unrefined oils. Our coconut oil, there are two types of coconut oil. You need to look at this because the coconut oil that is expelled, pressed, is an unrefined coconut oil. It goes through a machine using a steam or heat. So you use a little heat or steam to extract it. So if you look at coconut oil, it must say cold press. So the expelled pressed coconut oil is has some little heat going through, so that can do a little damage to the fat. But the cold pressed coconut oil, is a better type of oil because it retains its nutrients. It doesn't go through any type of heat. Dr. Furman, he is a well-known, renowned, he's a family practice doctor. Also, he is a nutritionist, a doctor who does health lectures regarding nutrition. So Dr. Furman's theory on oil is completely different from the American Heart Association and other health care professionals. According to Dr. Furman, oils of any kind should not be consumed. All oils, because they're all processed, they are stripped of their fiber, nutrients, and therefore they are just empty calories. So we are filling ourselves up with empty calories instead of, in the place of those empty calories, we could have been adding more nutrients to our diet. So because of that, Dr. Furman thinks that is not good. But what does the research has to say? By adding these oils to our diet, it increase any type of fat to our diet, it increase your appetite and cause overeating. Because all of these oils have fat, no matter how you look at it. So these fats can increase your appetite and cause you to overeat. The brain interprets free fat as starvation and alerts your body that you need to eat. Eating fats can also lead to increased level of ghrelin, that is the hunger hormone, telling you that you need to eat, eat, eat. And this hormone signals the brain to increase your appetite. Fats from oil basically are detrimental to your health. I'm talking about the fats, the too much omega-6 fats can be detrimental to your health. So various research have shown that the Mediterranean diet is a healthy diet and can reduce the risk of coronary heart disease and certain cancer. In the Mediterranean diet, they mostly use olive oil. So they have credited olive oil for the reduction of heart disease. Dr. Furman believes that the overall dietary pattern that was health promoting, not the olive oil. So he believed, because in the Mediterranean diet, they eat a lot of nuts and seeds and grains, and they also eat, they eat some fish and lean meat. So he believed it was because of the overall type of diet that they were eating that really helped them and not so much the olive oil. So due to the increased use of the vegetables that this diet portrays the Mediterranean diet, the fruits and nuts, beans and grains that's included in the Mediterranean diet helps to produce a reduction in coronary heart disease and certain cancer. So that's not so much the olive oil. He attributed the coronary heart disease reduction to the unrefined plant foods rather than the olive oils, because these plant foods provide what we call omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3 fatty acid is a good healthy fat that you want to have more of, because these omega-3 fatty acid helps with antioxidants. So they help reduce that free radical because antioxidants stabilize those free radicals. It has phytochemicals, a lot of nutrients like minerals and vitamins and so forth in the healthy food that has nut, grains, seeds, beans. They have all of these healthy omega fatty acid or omega-3. So because of that, the Mediterranean diet usually stands up tall among other diets because they eat so much of these healthier fats and compared to the omega-6 fatty acids that we in the Western world eat. So I went and I did some research about these oils, and I found this research was done, I think, was in 2022, 21, 22, around there. This is a doctor by the name of Dr. Agarwal. She conducted a study on olive oil because she had the same concern. Why is this olive oil helping patients or people who eat the Mediterranean diet? So she took some participants, about 40 of them, and she divided them in two groups. And it was, I think she did a cross-section study. So she had these two groups for the first couple of weeks or so, a month. They ate their normal diet. They were all meat eaters. They were not plant-based. She divided one group into, one group took olive oil and 4 tablespoons of olive oil daily, while the other group took 1 teaspoon or less of olive oil daily. So the group who ate 1 teaspoon of the extra virgin olive oil, and it must be extra virgin oil, and that's the best type of oil, olive oil, the group that ate 1 teaspoon of the extra virgin olive oil daily had a significant reduction in LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein, which is the bad cholesterol. Their levels went down significantly compared to those who consumed 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily. You see that the lower consumption of this extra virgin olive oil, although they said olive oil is good, those who consume less of it had a better outcome with their LDLs. Then she switched the group around. So those who had the low dose of the 1 teaspoon of olive oil, now they were eating 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And those who were eating the 4 tablespoons of olive oil, they now were eating the 1 teaspoon of olive oil daily. So when the participants were switched from the low extra virgin olive oil diet to the higher extra virgin olive oil diet, they saw an increase in cholesterol, triglycerides, blood sugar, and inflammation markers. So due to that elevated polyunsaturated fatty acid, omega-6, could be the reason why these people are having these negative results when before they had better LDLs. So Dr. Furman and the researcher, they all believe that all oils promote weight gain. All oils promote weight gains when fats are ingested in the form of extra oils. They are rapidly absorbed by the body because remember, they are empty calories, they do not have any fiber, they do not have any nutrients. So when we absorb them, when we eat these oils, they are absorbed rapidly into the body and immediately converted into body fat. If these fats are ingested from whole foods, such as the seed, nuts, and avocado, the absorption will be much slower over hours instead of minutes. Thus, these fats will be mostly burned for energy and not stored. So that's the problem with our oils. That's why even using the olive oil or the coconut oil, but coconut oil has saturated fat. So therefore, that's another no-no why why they are saying we should not use it because of the saturated fat. Even using these oils that we claim that are healthier because they are empty calories, they do not have the fiber, the nutrients are stripped, you know, it's one of the reasons why we should not use them. But, oh my, why is my thing not moving? Okay, so according to Dr. Furman, olive oil, if you're going to use any oil, so I'm not trying to convert anyone, I'm just trying to give you the facts. If you're going to use any oil, according to Dr. Furman, olive oil is less harmful compared to animal fat, but not as healthy as nuts and seeds. Olive oil is rich in unsaturated fats, polyphenols, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory properties. So olive oil does have some good properties. It has polyphenols, which are nutrients that the oil has. Antioxidants would help to decrease inflammation and other inflammatory properties. But if you're going to use any oil, olive oil is the only oil he's suggesting that you should use. But at the same time, he believes that you should not even use olive oil. Because olive oil is rich in these monounsaturated fats, substituting olive oil for animal fats or other oils that are high in saturated fats does have some reduction on your cholesterol level. Although olive oil is a better choice than animal fat products or other vegetable oils, the best way to substitute your oil is with nuts and seeds instead of the olive oil. So nuts and seeds provide these nutrients that we are lacking, the omega-3 fatty acid that we need. Nuts and seeds promotes heart health. Epidemiologist studies have shown that consistently shown that nut consumption is beneficial for heart health. Eating 5 or more servings of nuts per week is estimated to reduce the risk of coronary heart disease by 35%. Eating nuts and seeds promote against sudden cardiac death and reduce blood cholesterol and inflammation. When we eat the nuts and seeds in its whole, when we eat it because the fiber is still there and all the nutrients are still there, we are consuming a whole food and not a refined product. It gives a better health outlook compared to those oils. So I know most of you have heard about the Advent Health Study. The Adventist Health Study has shown several lifestyle factors were found to be associated with longevity. So these people not only live a healthier life, but they live longer, sometimes up to 8 to 10 years longer than people who live in their region. So those people who had a high level of physical activity, followed by a vegetarian diet, plus they ate nuts and seeds frequently, live an average of 8 years longer than those who did not share those habits. So you want to live longer, but at the same time you want to live healthy. You have a healthier lifestyle, or to be in good health and live longer. Those are the 2 things you want to do. So you must, be physical active, adhere to a vegetarian diet. You must include your nuts and seeds because you need these essential fatty acids to help with brain health, with your hormone balance, with your digestion, and with eye health, with all these different things. We need omega-3 fatty acid in balance with omega-6. And nuts and seeds provide all of this and provide it in a balanced form. So besides eating to stay healthy, you also need to eat for longevity. The Adventist study clearly showed that increasing omega-3 fatty acid in the diet increased longevity. So here are some omega-3 essential fatty acid places that you can find them. Omega-3 fatty acid are most important as they bring balance to our hormone, reduce inflammation, regulate our blood sugar, prevent blood clots, keep our cholesterol and triglyceride in balance, relax our blood vessels, and make our cells healthy and resilient. You can find omega-3 fatty acid in those seeds, flaxseed, chia seed, hemp seed, in nuts, walnuts, almonds, and Brazil nuts, and all those nuts, pecans. You can find omega-3 fatty acid in those nuts. You can also find, if you eat fish, you can find it in the cold water fish like salmon, codfish. But again, I warned you, because of the pollution of our ocean, we need to try and stay away from eating these fish. I know they recommend that pregnant women should not really eat fish like salmon and tuna and all of that, that they should try and stay away from it because of the mercury content. So if they're telling pregnant women to stay away, there's a reason. We need to think about it. Pregnant women should not eat it. Just the same, we should not eat it, those of us who are not pregnant, because not only the mercury, the ocean is so polluted with plastic and all these different things that are dumping into the ocean. I read where they find plastic in the tissue of these fish, and it's very small. It's like so thin, like maybe like a strand of hair. So you will not even detect it. And you're consuming these fish, consuming these, the fish because you want to get more omega-3. But how did the fish get this omega-3, to think about it? The fish got the omega-3 from eating the plant algae, from eating the plants that are in the ocean. That is how they got the omega-3. So we can get our fish firsthand, and omega-3 firsthand. Instead of eating the fish, let's eat the plants so that we can get omega-3. Green leafy vegetables, another way of getting omega-3. Winter squash, our beans, kidney beans, navy beans, these are all good sources of omega-3 fatty acid. They talk here about olive oil. As I just mentioned, olive oil does have omega-3. It has more monounsaturated fatty acid. It is not as polluted or chemically corrupt like the other oils, but at the same time, they can still cause you to gain weight because they're empty calories. They have they do not have the fiber and all the nutrients that originally is in the olive. It's best to eat the olive than to drink the oil. So these are some of the omega-3 fatty acids. There's so much more omega-3 fatty acid that we can consume from food in its whole form. So I created this, know your numbers. Do you know your omega-3 fatty acid number? Do you know what it is? So they're saying that an optimal number is to have an 8% or higher. Intermediate is between 4 to 8. Low is before or below, and you do not want to have your omega-3 levels that low. So you can do it. You can ask your doctor that you want to have to check your omega-3 levels, and you can ask your doctor can, I should say, your doctor can order the omega-3 index test, and you can go to Quest Diagnostic to get this test done. Or if your doctor doesn't want to order it, you can go online and order it. Omega Quant test, it's called Omega Quant test. You can go online and order it. The company will send you with your test kit between 3 to 5 days, and you just prick your finger, put it on this test strip, send it back to them, and within 2 to 4 weeks, they will email you your results. So that way you can know if your omega-3 level, because we do not want to have low omega-3 level, anything less than 8. Because a low omega-3 level is, can cause dementia, can cause Parkinson's syndrome, can cause, brain, can affect our brain, can also affect our heart because of the, it helps with heart regularity. It also help with the hormone control and all of that. So we need to have this good healthy fatty acid in our system and stop using those oils that cause an imbalance with our omega-3 and omega-6 or fatty acid. So in conclusion, we need to avoid seed oil. Seed oils are refined oils and are high in omega-6, which trigger the inflammatory pathway and thus lead to chronic diseases. We need to seed oils are polyunsaturated fats. These fats are unstable when they are heated, therefore we need to stay away from them. They produce free radical and they can cause tissue and cell damage in the body. Seed oils promote weight gain because they are stripped of all their nutrients. They do not have any nutritional value. Therefore, it just is a method or means of putting on weight. Although avocado oil, olive oil, and coconut oils are considered better options to seed oil, they are still processed and they are lacking in nutrients. They are also empty calories. Although they say olive oil might still have some of those polyphenols, which are healthy, which are good, but still it can cause problems. Also, stay away from these oils, from processed foods. I should say stay away from processed foods, because these foods contain more of the unhealthy type of seed oil. When you look at these processed foods, they all have either sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, palm oil, all of these unhealthy oils they have in them. Canola oil, all of that. As a matter of fact, that canola oil is not made from a canola plant. There's not, if you look up a canola plant, you will not find canola plant. They took the word Canada and oil and put it together because the canola oil was created in Canada. It's from the rape seed. So because they did not want to put on the container rapeseed oil, because that doesn't sound too good, they came up with can for Canada and oil for oil, and oil for, yeah. So they put it together and call it canola oil, but there's not a canola plant. Someone told me that there are now seed on canola bottles. It will say in small print, made from rapeseed, but it's not canola, it's rapeseed. So stay away from these processed foods because they contain too much of these unhealthy oils, which raises omega-6, causes inflammation and other diseases. Avoid deep frying. There's not a good fat or oil to deep fry with. Stop deep frying. As a matter of fact, you should not reuse oils that were heated, because once these oils are heated, they contain they're oxidized, and because of the oxidation, they can cause free radicals in your body, and they cause destruction of tissues and cells. So do not reuse your oil. The more the oil is heated, the more free radicals are formed. So you need to stop going to McDonald's and those places because they reuse the oil over and over. I don't know if they change their oils every 24 hours or how frequently, but I know those oils are reused over and over. Olive oil is better to use than animal oil. If you have to use any oil, maybe use olive oil. And olive oil, it has a low smoke point, so you should not be heating it up too high. Maybe if you heat it, it should be on moderate heat. But as I said again, I'm going to emphasize, stay away from all oils. And finally, instead of using oil, include more nuts and seeds in your diet. You need to eat at least an ounce or so of nuts and seeds daily. An ounce and a half. If you're a bigger person, maybe you need 2 ounces, like a guy who is muscular, someone who exercises a lot, they might need about 2 ounces more of seeds, nuts and seeds in their diet. Use nuts and seeds for salad dressing. I did this presentation when I was talking about salad dressing, so that's why I have this in there. Use nuts and seeds for salad dressing instead of Thousand Island, the Caesar dressing, and all of that. I have some wonderful recipes for making salad dressing from nuts and seeds. Maybe another time I can share that with you. Nuts and seeds should be eaten raw or lightly toasted. Soak your nuts before you use them. Wash your nuts, soak them. Depending on the type of nuts, the harder nuts like walnut and Brazil nuts and almond nuts, those harder nuts, they maybe need to be soaked for overnight. Your seeds like pumpkin seed and sesame seed and maybe they can soak for a couple of hours, but wash your nuts, soak them, and eat them raw. Best nuts to eat are walnuts, almond nuts, pistachios, Mediterranean pine nuts, Brazil nuts, almond nuts. I do have almonds, pecan nuts. Those nuts, those tree nuts are the best type of nuts to eat. Remind you, peanut is not a nut. It's a legume. It's grown under the ground. So it's a legume. It is not a nut. Best seeds to eat are chia seeds, hemp seed, flax seed, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds. These are the seeds you need to eat. And we need to eat these things every day. Every day they need to be part of our diet. I'm telling you, if you eat these seeds and nuts, you do not feel hungry. You will not feel hungry. You will be able to sustain hours before you eat again because they fill you up, they keep you satisfied, and you do not go, trying to get something to eat every second. They are sustainable. So thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and start asking your questions. And I will do my best to answer those. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Why is this showing? Okay, let me see. There were some questions in the chat. Yes, okay, yeah, avoid cottonseed oil, that's right. And all of those seed oils, they are not healthy. We should not eat them. Do not use them, please. They are not healthy. Can you text me the chart of the olive oil to avoid? Sure, I can do that. Can you text me the chart of the, okay, olive oil. What type of seeds should you recommend? Okay, the hemp seed, flax seed, chia seed, sesame seeds, those are all healthy seeds that we need to eat. So the Adventist study showed that when nuts and seeds are used in combination, they are healthier. That's a healthier diet compared to if you just eat nuts, because they did a study showing those individuals who just ate nuts, did not eat seeds, they came down with dementia and other memory problems. They also had problems with irregular heartbeat, with atrial fibrillation, which, atrial fibrillation, your heart is just quivering. And because of the heart quivering, blood tend to pool, and then you can form blood clots. And these blood clots can travel throughout the body and can cause strokes, heart attack, and pulmonary embolism and all of that. So you must combine nuts and seeds together. I heard that you should, I heard that you should not use olive oil for frying. Yes, olive oil is the question is, I heard that you should not use olive oil for frying anything. Yes, so olive oil, it has a low smoke point, and because of that, heating it up too high, you can, if you cause the molecular structure of that oil to change, you can form trans fat. It has too much of the, so you can cause the oil with the free radicals. So heating oils, turn the oil because of the bonds in those carbons, make them unstable, and then they can, form free radicals. Free radicals destroy your cells, your tissue. So it's best not to heat the oil. But if you have to, it must be done on low heat.
Madam Presenter, on the
Yes.
nuts, you're saying that to have them raw, I tend to have a sensitivity to raw. So the roasted ones are not good to consume? Nuts?
So the nuts lightly roasted. If you're going to eat, nuts, if you're not going to eat it raw, they must be lightly roasted. Put it on a low, put your oven on and roast it just slightly. Don't have them with real hard, crispy, just lightly toasted. You can do that too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay. Well, since we do not have any more questions, I appreciate you
Emily, I
for.
got a question. Emily, I have a question. I
Go
didn't
ahead.
finish the question. I had to step away. You may have answered this question already, but do you have to eat the nuts and seeds every day, or can you alternate them?
From what I studied, a combination. You need to combine nuts and seeds daily in your diet, at least 5 times a week.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Do you have to eat nuts and seeds? Okay, yes. Okay, so we're going to stop our recording.